New video released of George Zimmerman in the police station. If you notice in the video, he gets out of the car by himself. He is not handled with any type of sense of someone being a suspect for murder. At one point, he backs up and leans up against the wall with one of his feet up against the wall like he's relaxed. As you can see right now, he's getting out of the car. They're looking around. They're tainting. As soon as this gentleman's getting ready to touch his clothes. I don't know if he's looking at his shirt. And then he does get up and leans up against the wall like he's just hanging out. And then as he's walking away from this point, he looks down and the policeman goes to look like he pulls his shirt down for him. If you notice in the video, George Zimmerman's shirt is tucked in, which is, you know, if you're in any altercation, your shirt's not going to be perfectly tucked in, and it looks like it's tucked in a proper manner of not just, there he goes, leaning up against the wall, taking a break, walking away. So he looks down, and then the cop, like, fixes his shirt for him, which is very odd. He walks around the other bike by himself. Policeman does not follow him the whole time. This is just something very odd, and as you're coming through here, you cannot see any abrasions, you can't see anything on his face, and in a sense, you can see like he's looking away from the camera, looking down. Obviously, he knows the camera is here. And then there is the moment where the cop does look on the back of his head. It does look like he touches his coat. Now, I'm wondering, is this cop right here, is he one that was on the scene? Does he know what had happened from being on the scene? Or is he there just picking him up after supposedly he was treated by medics? And he's aware of what happened and himself was trying to observe anything on the back of his head? This is a very, very odd one. This truly seems like this is a major cover-up. This whole scene of just this video is really breaking everything down. He obviously knew someone here. I mean, look how far away they're all standing away from him. You know, there's no arms, you know, around him, guiding him through. Look, there he goes again, walking around the other bike by himself. None of the policemen have gloves on. And again, his shirt is perfectly tucked in. You can see it right there, a glimpse of it inside of his belt. And that's just very odd in itself. You know, if he was to have been smashed down on the ground with his head, there's going to be some blood. I would see there being blood on his head, maybe the back of his jacket. I mean, obviously, he may have got this all cleaned up. But there looks like there is no type of abrasion whatsoever, which I have to admit is hard to see in this video. But then you can't see anything on his face. If he was punched, there's no type of bruising. No, you can't see any type of swelling. So obviously this video, I'm looking forward to someone taking this video and enhancing it more, where we can see more of his face and his back in an enhanced view, because it is hard to see in this video, because obviously it's not the highest quality of video and it is a little far away. But this right here, everybody's just standing away, and there he goes again, just leaning up, and every cop's raising his hand, all just casual. And you know, with him being brought in handcuffed, obviously he's not arrested yet, but he is at the moment a suspect. And you know, they're taking his word on this, obviously. There he goes again, shirt tucked in, head tucked away. Now, is there more video? Isn't there something of where if he's going to be in a room and interrogated at any point, that there's video in that room also? You know, I had different points of view on this. I didn't, you know what to think, because I am the type of person that will look at all sides, you know, every side. and not really take a side until something clicks. And this is the moment where it clicked for me, because it's obvious that something is going on, and it's going on within this police station also. And just everything that's coming up is, and his father being a judge, which may not have nothing to do with it, and he is a judge from another town, another state, but circles are circles, money is money, and these things do happen. You know, we do hear stories of, I cannot remember the detective's name that was really trying to look into this and press a charge, but he was told no, and I commend that gentleman for really doing his job and looking more into this and not assuming that this guy is saying that he was attacked and he was screaming on the ground and beast on the ground when he knows he has the gun and he's the one going to school to be a cop. I even find that a little bit hard, because if he was going to go to school to be a cop, and I'm sure he's probably had I think he was going to school to be a cop, but I'm sure he's had some type of physical training, some type of, training, maybe not in police hand-to-hand, but in, protecting himself. And this little kid, if this guy was on him, I knew he would have known how to take him down or turn him over within no time. This guy looks a little hefty and big, like he really could take control of something. And that kid, granted, I'm not sure how tall he was, and that kid could be very strong too. He was in sports. But this gentleman, being who he is, what he knows, who he knows, what he's studying, he obviously had not much fear in him to even take upon himself to do a neighborhood watch and to have a gun. So obviously he's not a person of a lack of courage. And to think that he was the one on the ground screaming, I'm really having a hard time believing that one completely. And now after they interviewed a mother of a 13-year-old that called in and said what he had seen, and from what I'm recalling, he had saw Mr. Martin, the young kid, laying on the ground screaming, and there was no indication where he saw Zimmerman on top of him or even close to him. He said he did not see him at all. So that's why, and that Trayvon was the one screaming for help. So if he wasn't in his eye's view, he must have known that there was a gun or something that had to have scared him to scream for help. And this 13-year-old could not even see him in his eyesight. So this is really starting to come together, and I truly hope that justice is done and done quickly. I hope that there is more to this, that they don't just look at Mr. Zimmerman, but they look at the policeman involved. They look at the attorney or the district attorney who did not want to charge it and dismissed it real quickly. The leaking of information. A lot of things are coming together here, and this needs to be a big, full-blown investigation, not just on Mark Zimmerman, but on this whole situation, which truly seems to be a cover-up. And what's sad to say is, once this is investigated, who knows what more has happened within this own police station and what other types of crimes and everything could have been put underneath the table. So my thoughts and prayers are out for the family. I'm sure that this news that's come out tonight is even more upsetting, infuriating, and I'm sure that lack of just unbelief is incredible, to know that it's not only Mr. Zimmerman that's trying to get away with this and that the police are taking his sides, but that the police may actually be involved in covering this up, which is really sad. So that's just my point of view, and I'd like to know what some other people out there think, and especially after the video and really observing the video in detail of all of his actions, him leaning up against the wall, him walking around the bike, and a cop didn't follow him, didn't have his arm behind him embracing him, walking him through. There was no gloves on. There was none of those things. And I'm sorry that I still have the video going on the TV, and you're watching a commercial, so I do apologize. But I'm too scary tonight and didn't want the video on me. All right, so my prayers are out for the family. And if anybody has any other ideas, and really by looking at that video and truly a sense of everything of what you see, I do truly appreciate some comments. And again, let's say some deep prayers for the families, and I think any ideas and anybody's point of views on this video can really help put this all together in different scenarios, because different scenarios from a bunch of different sources can really piece things together. All right, God bless, and everybody have a good night.